Hello, hello, hello. Good evening. I'll give everybody a minute to jump on. Welcome to episode 39. What's going on this evening? We are on episode 39. Super excited. We're going to talk a little bit about credit repair. That is, I would say, one of the most common questions that I get or one of the common issues that comes up is, how do I fix my credit? Or I have some things on my credit that I need to take care of before I am ready to purchase. So that's when I always refer people to my loan officer. First, before I get started, I want to say be sure to hit the like button or the love button, or give me some feedback. Let me know what you think about what I'm saying. What's going on, Sonia? What's going on, Mark? Thank you for joining this evening. Okay, well, the first thing, we're going to go ahead and jump in, and we're going to talk about, like I said, credit score repair. Now, I'm not a credit score repair expert. I'm just kind of giving you some information based off of what I've heard from my loan officers that I deal with. First thing is, you're going to want to pull your credit score. A lot of people use Credit Karma, and I will tell you that Credit Karma is not what the mortgage people are going to see. They are going to pull what's called a FICO score. And typically that is going to be probably a little bit lower than what your Credit Karma score is. I'm going to back the camera up because it's cutting my head off. But they pull a FICO score and they're going to take the middle score. So whatever that middle score is from Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian is what they're going to use. The lowest score that I have seen or heard actually spoken with the loan officer is 620 on what they're going to lend on. Now, I have read and heard random rumors that they will approve down to 580. I don't know if it's true because I've never spoken with a loan officer that will go down to 580. What's up, Lisa? Thanks for jumping on. We're talking about credit score repair, and like I mentioned, I am not a credit score repair expert. I'm just kind of giving you a few tips based on experience and things that I've heard from loan officers that I work with. First thing I will tell you is when you pull the score or pull your credit report, dispute any discrepancies. That is a major thing. There are discrepancies on your report. They're not perfect. I don't know how they can be held to such a different standard, but it's easy for them to put it on, but really hard for them to get it off. So report any discrepancies and get those taken care of. And the loan officer will work with you, because I always tell my clients, let's get you with my loan officer and you'd be surprised. We may be able to get your credit issues fixed quickly. The loan officer can do what they call a rapid rescore, and then we can move forward in a couple months. It may just take a couple of months depending on what kind of issues you're dealing with. Another thing to do is reduce your debt, because different loan types have different ratios, and you need to have your debt needs to be below a certain amount. I can't explain that one to you. That's going to be my loan officer expert that would explain that information. But the general rule is to keep your credit below 30% usage. That is going to majorly impact your credit score too. Just that alone, keeping lower balances below 30%. But you do need to use your credit. You need to use it to make sure you have a good history. It shows that you're responsible with your credit. And they don't want to see a crap ton of credit lines, but don't go and close them. I always tell people, before you do anything, make sure you speak with the loan officer. They're going to be your best friend when you're getting ready to purchase. What's going on, Michael? Thank you for joining. Hey, Mark. Good evening. So basically, two things we talked about. Keeping your usage below 30% and disputing inaccuracies, major thing. A tip one of the loan officers gave me about using Credit Karma is he said that your score may be 10 points lower. The score that they're seeing is going to be 10 points lower. So just think about it like that. When you see your score on there, what they're going to see is going to be a little lower. So like I said, shoot to go a little bit higher. Shoot to go 20 points higher, and they will work with you on it to see. They can usually get you up pretty quickly if you just have a few things to take care of. Otherwise, it may be like a year plan. But pretty much, unless you have like a bankruptcy or foreclosure, they can get you approved pretty quickly to move forward. Like again, unless you have major debt, you got to pay some of the debt down, reduce your usage, and disputing inaccuracies. That's what I have to offer about credit repair. Now, someone had another question for me about closing costs, which I kind of want to explain. The next thing after you fixed your credit is to save money. You're saving money when you purchase a home for your down payment, if you have one, your closing costs, and inspections. Now, your closing costs are going to be this chunk of money that covers, and I'll list a few things so you understand it. Your loan origination fees, your survey, underwriting fees. These are all pretty standard fees, by the way. They're things that you're going to look at your closing disclosure and be like, what the hell am I paying for all this money? Typically, it's about 3% of your sales price. So if you're buying a $250,000 house, it's going to be about $7,500. Now, you can ask for closing cost assistance from the seller, which in the market I've seen, we pretty much can get them no problem. It's a negotiation thing. We can use a negotiation piece we can use on the contract. In a seller's market, which we seem to be trending in, I won't say that it's definitely a seller's market, but we're trending in a seller's market. You want to make your offer look better. So we're going to have to move some numbers around, but it's still something that we can use. We can say you don't need any closing cost assistance, or we can write it into the offer and take the price up higher. But we would need to work with a couple different numbers, moving things around if we're competing against other offers. Typically, and I wanted to explain realtor fees, but before I do that, we'll finish up on closing costs. Closing costs cover also your escrows, as well as title search fees, title insurance. You have to pay a year's worth of your homeowners when you close, because they want to make sure if something happens to your house that the money is there to rebuild it. So that's paid a year in advance. They also take an amount for your first mortgage, depending on the day of the month you close, transfer fees, taxes, all those things. And it depends also if you are including taxes and insurance in your mortgage, which I recommend that you do. It's taken care of and you don't have to worry about it. It's always paid for through your mortgage. Realtor fees are typically paid by the seller. It's part of the listing agreement. So typically a buyer does not have to pay for them. I can't speak to that everywhere in every situation, but I'm just giving you basically on my experience and what I've seen. And typically realtor fees are paid by the seller with the listing agreement. So I'm so glad you guys joined me this evening. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Also, share this out. Don't be selfish with the information. Hopefully this helped you. I know there's a lot of realtors on here that already know this stuff, but please share it out. You never know who's going to need this information. And again, I'm on Snapchat, Twitter, Facebook, obviously. And if you guys have any questions or you'd like to hear any topics, please feel free to reach out to me, or if I can help with anything. But I will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for joining.